They call it activism, but behind the signs and slogans at Columbia, there's a movement defending terror, justifying October 7th, and hiding behind free speech. Dr. Phil in this video didn't hold back, and neither will we. Let's watch this together.
I would go as far to say that it hasn't just been a genocide for the last 18 months. Palestinian people have been facing a genocide since the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948.
This land belonged to the Jewish people long before 1948. But I'm glad that you brought that up, because in 1948, if we're talking about the rule of law, you're quite right. Because in 1948, there was an establishment and it was accepted by Israel, but it was rejected by Palestine. They have had numerous opportunities to have a two-state solution since at least the 1940s.
Well, before we even continue, let me tell you who's talking over here. This is Nurdin Kiswani, who's led some very, very violent protests, and she's the head of an organization called Within Our Lifetime. And Dr. Phil is not letting her get away with all of the propaganda that she promotes, and he puts it right into her face. Israel offered the Palestinians, this is after the establishment of the State of Israel, but even before the establishment, the UN offered and the Arabs rejected. Repeatedly, over and over and over, even after the state was established, Israel offered, most recently, almost 97% of the disputed areas. It's clear that they don't want peace. Hear how she responds.
Why would Palestinians accept giving 51% of our land to 6% of the population that was newly immigrated at the time? Why would anyone accept settler colonialism? We fought against British colonialism. We fought even against against the Ottoman Empire. Why would anybody accept willingly to be colonized?
So what do you want to happen? What do you want to happen? The Palestinians have rejected a two-state solution on 13 different occasions beginning in 1937 with the Peel Commission, the UN partition plan. I can go on up through and including 2020. So what do you want to happen?
I just wanted to say that this is an excellent question that Dr. Phil is asking, because very often people who live in victimhood, as the Palestinians do, they don't know what they want. They just complain, because that's how victimhood works. I just complain. And if I don't have a problem, I have a big problem, because I don't know what to complain about. And putting this question before her is great. Now, her response, of course, is going to be some absolute lies about the Palestinians wanting to live together, which clearly from their actions is very clear is not what they want.
I believe that one democratic state where people of all different religions can live together in peace, as they did prior to the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, where you are not granted supremacy based on your religion. And I believe that the indigenous people of Palestine, should be repatriated, should be given the right of return as stipulated in UN Resolution 194, which none of these solutions that you just posited, and these two-state solutions allows that, as an option. I believe that there must be reparations for the Palestinian people who've lost their land, who've been languishing in refugee camps in neighboring Arab countries for decades, for over 75 years at this point. And those who wish to live peacefully among their neighbors, who wish to be part of the Palestinian nation building project, can continue to do so. We even have Jewish people in my group Within Our Lifetime. So,
how many Jews live in Gaza now?
Do you hear this question? Brilliant question. What's he pointing out? What's he insinuating? There isn't a single Jew in Gaza. Jews cannot live in Arab countries. Why not? They will not live peacefully for 1 second with a Jew. Their religion demands otherwise. So this whole propaganda that she's saying, that we just want to live peacefully side by side where all religions can live in a democracy, is a complete lie.
Well, if you're going to bring that up, Israel is actually the one who decided to withdraw their population. So
Yeah.
And under this context of siege, blockade, and genocide, this is just a silly argument to bring up to begin with. You cannot have peace without justice.
Oh, I love this line. So listen to this. You cannot have peace without justice. I want to tell you something. A lot of people don't understand this, and surely a person who is angry as this Nerdine will never understand this. The only way people achieve peace is without justice, meaning that either someone insists on justice, which keeps you in a fight, or a person says, I'm going to take the road of peace, which is compromise. And so there is some level of justice, but there's never complete justice there. You let go of justice for peace. That's the only way peace happens. Any couple that divorces, this is the way it works. Either they have a peaceful split where no one gets exactly what they want, no one feels it's fully justified, but they'd rather be at peace, or they war. And this is her big mistake with the statement. You can't have peace without justice. Actually, that's 100% wrong. You cannot have peace with justice. It's impossible.
Okay, and Jews have lived in the land for over 3,000 years despite conquest and exiles. Modern Israel is legally recognized. It's the San Marino Conference, the UN international treaties. They've never abandoned their claim to the land, ever. And there's no independent Palestinian state ever existed before Israel. There was never a Palestinian state ever before Israel, ever.
Okay, well, Ireland and Italy also didn't exist up until like the 20th century. The concept of nation states is fairly new. Palestinian people existed. And yes, the people in that region, there were Jewish people, Christian people. Palestine is a land of, the Abrahamic religions. A lot of those just Jewish people actually converted to Islam. If you look at the genealogy of a lot of Palestinians.
Are you saying that Israel is an apartheid state?
Because genetic testing is actually illegal in Israel.
Are you saying that Israel is an apartheid state?
Israel's beyond an apartheid state. It's a settler colonial genocidal state.
Really? Then why are there equal rights for Arab citizens in Israel?
There aren't equal rights. There's over 51 discriminatory laws against Palestinian citizens of Israel, and you're excluding millions of Palestinians by even just focusing on them. You're also excluding Palestinians in exile like myself, and Palestinians who are in refugee camps scattered across the world in exile, unable to exercise their right of return.
If it's an apartheid state, how are 1.8 million Arab citizens living in Israel? It's 20% of the population. They have full rights. They vote, they work, they run for office, they own property. They have more rights and freedom in Israel than in any Muslim country on the face of the earth. How is that apartheid?
The freest Arabs in the world are the Arabs living either in Israel or in the West, never in an Arab country. They have more rights than anywhere else. And many people don't know what Dr. Phil just said. They are 20% of the population. There are members of the court, judges. There are members of the Knesset who are Arabs. They have equal rights. And you can watch many of my other videos where Israeli Arabs are interviewed, and they state this clearly. How many Jews live in Jordan? How many Jews live in Syria? How many Jews live in Saudi Arabia? How many Jews live in Iraq? Not 20%, not 10%, not 5%, not 1%. That's because they will not live peacefully together. It's very valuable that we have a voice like Dr. Phil, who is speaking the truth in the face of these very blatant lies.